Right, so today we've got a Kia Cee'd. It's a 2013 model with the 1.6 diesel 16 valve engine in it. It's done just over 136,000 miles. So this car has got a bit of a rattly noise coming from the driver's side front when you're going along over bumps. I've had a quick look around it, and basically this is what I've found. If you get hold of the wheel, sort of 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock position, you can quite easily jiggle that about. That's one of the first things to check when you jack a car up or take it up on the lift. Get hold of the wheel and have a feel from top to bottom, side to side. Top to bottom is generally the wheel bearing, side to side is going to be steering related. So I'll get the wheel off and show you exactly what's going on there. Okay, so we've got the wheel off. So this is your steering rack here. There's a locking nut there. From the locking nut this way is called the track rod end. And this is the ball joint which has failed. So there's a socket in this part, and then the stud sticking through has got a ball on the end. So that should be a nice snug ball and socket joint. But if I rock the stub side to side, you can see that jiggles about. That shouldn't do that at all. So I've got a new track rod end, which is here. And that's the component we're going to be replacing today. Comes with a new car-slated nut and a split pin to lock it all together. So I shall start. I'll get the necessary tools and get this split pin out, crack this loose, take that off, and then separate the two. Right, so first thing, this is 24mm, that nut there, the locking one. I'm going to see if I can crack that loose. There we go. You'll see why I've done that first in a moment. So now we need to take this split pin out. That's it. Now I need to just grab the air gun and buzz that nut off of there. That came off nice and easy. Obviously not everybody's got an air gun. They are a bit easier to do with an air gun. If you're using a spanner or a ratchet, you'd normally be okay, but if this ball joint breaks loose, you'll find that the nut spins and the threaded stud will spin as well. Now the best way to stop that from happening is to put a block of wood and a jack underneath this bottom part of the track rod end and push it up tighter into here. It's a tapered fit, so that should stop the stud from spinning. But in this case, that's come loose. So now I just need to grab my hammer and give that a tap. As I said, it's a tapered fit inside here. So by tapping this, this should drop out. You can also get a ball joint breaker, which is like a forked prong, which you whack into here. It splits this, makes a bit of mess, but you're replacing it anyway. But I'll just give this a tap and see if it comes out. That's it. And you might be able to see there that this part is tapered. So the more it pushes up into the stub here, the tighter fit it becomes. Now what I'm going to do next, make sure this doesn't turn, the steering arm, and that's staying still. Luckily it's quite loose on there actually, now that I've cracked the locking nut loose. That's why I've done it first, because when it's in this position you wouldn't be able to crack that loose very easily. So count the turns when you're undoing this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 turns. Yeah, I can feel that that's absolutely shot. It feels really dry and gritty, and also you can move it in and out where you shouldn't be able to. You probably can't see that on there. So I'll grab the new one. Right, so it was 14 turns. The reason you count them is because this is how you set your tracking, to make sure the wheels are running parallel. I just want to compare that with the old one. Looks good to me. Slightly different rubber boot, but this one's squashed down more than that one. Right. One, 2, 3, 4, 6. "14 turns, which is pretty much up to where the nut was left. So that's a nice tight fit, unlike the old one. Ah, that's better. Right, I'll just grab a spanner to nip that up. Right, so now I need to make sure these castle turret style parts on the nut line up with the hole through the stud that's sticking out. That looks good. And so now we can hopefully get the split pin through there. Twist it round a little bit. There it goes. It's just like a locking device. Stop that working loose. They don't always have this arrangement. Sometimes it will just have a nylock nut, which is the alternative to this style. That's it. That should do fine. So I'll nip up the locking nut up here. Actually, I'll grab the mole grips and show you how to adjust the tracking. Obviously you wouldn't be doing this unless you've got tracking gauges, which I do have, fortunately. But as I said, as long as you count the turns that it comes off, leave the nuts in the same place, then put the new one back on the same amount of turns, you shouldn't be too far out. So when adjusting tracking, all we do is crack the nut loose, pair of grips on there, and then you can wind this in or out to lengthen or shorten it, which adjusts the front wheels so you can get them running parallel. Okay, so that's all tight. That's pretty much it. I will check the tracking once it's on the ground, purely because, as I said, I have got the luxury of having some gauges. And if you're in any doubt, once you've fitted one of these, you can always take it to a tyre centre where most of them have got gauges, and they'll check and adjust if necessary, probably for around about the £30 to £40 mark.